Hey, Professor GV, she said as she lit up the morning. She walked in and dazzled us. Welcome to the Winspreneur show today. Our smartest, coolest, youngest college matchmaker, Navya Mehta. Welcome to the Winspreneur show, Navya.
Thank you.
Alright, so today we have something really exciting in store for you because we have the story of this young dynamic lady who's transformed the startup scene over here in North India, and she's held it together with her brains and beauty. And welcome Navya once again, and tell us, and let's jump right into it. Tell us what has been the story of Navya Mehta.
I was actually thinking about it and I feel it's funny because I think it's still in the making. I think it only just started and I'm just in the starting few chapters of my journey.
Wonderful.
But, of course, that being said, it starts long back. It's very difficult to, point out, oh, this was the starting point. I think, everything that we're doing since we've been in our younger years, all of that has framed me to be me.
Wow.
Be it, the good times, the bad times, or just the okay times as well.
There was something very interesting by Steve Jobs, and he called it connecting the dots. It's those small things that along your journey where you're connecting those dots, and they built your entire story or your journey, right? You're talking about that, right?
Absolutely.
All right. So what were these dots?
So I feel there isn't really something to pinpoint to in my childhood because it's been I come from a good family and I've been lucky enough to be comfortable in life, and of course that has framed me, and it wasn't that oh my god I have to do this, but I went to schooling in Chandigarh only. I went to Carmel Convent School, and then for my college I went to Indiana University, Kelly School of Business. But I feel the major transformation happened then in me because being in a convent school, maybe I was always an introvert in my just happy enough in my surroundings. But once I got to India, now I realized that I'm capable of so much more. There are so many opportunities out there.
So you had the first exposure as right? You went out of your shell, and the world embraced you, and you embraced the world back, right?
Absolutely.
Something like that.
Yeah, and
Wonderful.
the funny thing is, I was the one who actually kept saying no. I don't want to go to, I don't want to go overseas. Like I'm happy studying in India, but it was my parents who knew that I'll flourish if I go outside of my comfort zone, and I must give it a try. So I'm really glad I did because I definitely feel that has changed me so much, and it has made me into a human that is always looking out for opportunities.
So a lot of youngsters look up to people like you, who've gone from India, gone to the US, and then come back to give back, right? Now tell me the differences. What do you feel were the challenges within India, and what was the difference? Why does it make a broad education? Why is it good?
So there are two things to it, and majorly, of course, besides other things. One thing is practical studies. Over here it's always if also you compare like any different curriculum, the Indian curriculum will always be कि आप पहले formula भी याद करो, उसके बाद फिर आप उसको देखो कहाँ पे apply भी करना है and everything. But the truth is, if let's say you want to do a compound interest, you've got apps for that. I mean, everything is online. You don't need to know the formula to calculate area, perimeter, and X, Y, Z.
Oh, so this is what they call smart work.
Yes, exactly. And वहाँ पे, even if you had to give the SAT, which is the test for the US, you would always get a reference sheet कि okay, these are the formulas, but you need to know where to apply. area calculate करने की जगह में perimeter calculate करोगे. That is
oh
wrong.
My God! So they give you the reference sheets, and they're kind of, they don't want you to rote. They don't want you to mug up things. They want you to understand things.
Absolutely.
So that's the difference. Wonderful. Okay.
Yeah. And the other thing is, which my parents said, which I got to know while I was studying there, they really just said, padai is the same. Books are going to be the same. But the reason why they really sent me overseas was to make me more independent and to make me more, smarter in that sense. which I do feel it did bring in a change in me if I do compare, it had I just lived in India. So I feel that has been really nice, being able to be independent, see life for myself at such a young age.
Wow.
And, so.
It is about that independence.
Of
It
course.
is about that exposure. I've lived abroad for years and I know what you're talking about.
Anytime you go outside of your house, you're learning.
You're learning. So, if I go back, what did your parents say to you? Like, go back, I'm sure you weren't even thinking of this, but what did they say to you when they were sending you away? You sound like you come from very, open parents and, they understand the world, but what advice were your parents giving you when you were going abroad?
I think they said, don't just worry about studies, like go live your life, because academics, yes, they're important, but really the degree is only going to teach you so much, but what you're really developing is your mind.
Wow, developing your mind.
Yeah.
So, what I see in you is an entrepreneur, and I see that entrepreneur's mindset. Where did that seed come from in your journey? Where did you start thinking like an entrepreneur?
I would say I have more of a marketing mind per se, because of course entrepreneurship, running in the family, all of my father's brothers are also entrepreneurs, and so is my family from the mom side as well. But of course, being a part of those discussions, it was always interesting, but what I introspected was that I was always contributing more towards the marketing discussions or more towards the HR discussions, like more people oriented discussions is where I was flourishing the most. And of course entrepreneurship, you can't learn it, it's more of hearing people out.
Yes.
And reading for yourself.
So it was something you were born around you.
Yeah.
You had at the back of your mind, but your interests aligned somehow, right?
Yeah.
But you would have faced a lot of challenges, as a young entrepreneur also, and even if you come from a great family, you would have faced a lot of challenges. It would not have been easy just going to the US and settling down.
Yeah.
You did tell us that you were in a shell. The life was different. What were those challenges you faced along the way?
Since I said that I came in from a shell, so I became more extroverted. Like I was really worried I'm going to be homesick. So I made sure I had like 100 other friends before I went in. And of course, the first day I had 20 friends who were helping me move in, and which was all great, and I was super happy. But I think the biggest point is finding your people. Because in the very beginning, everything sounds fancy. Coming in from Chandigarh, meeting people from anywhere outside of Chandigarh as well for the first time. Every time you get excited, right? And that was more of a global, like US ke mil rahe hai, Pakistan se mil rahe hai, everywhere, right? But really finding your set of people, because you need to find a family.
So you needed, kind of a group that support group kind of
course.
Oh, very nice.
And one thing I'll add is when you go overseas, everybody comes in from a different perspective. Somebody's probably there just to find a good network of people. Somebody's there to land a crazy job, and somebody's just there to academics bhi karna, ye bhi karna. Everybody has their own reasons, and they're all correct in their own way. But agar mera reason hai network karne ka aur aapko job dhooni hai, so there's always be a clash of the mindset. Which makes it a little difficult to cope in, but of course when you find your people, it makes it easier.
When you are on this show, a lot of youngsters would be watching this. What are the challenges a person typically faces and you faced when you actually landed in the US? It couldn't have been all hunky dory, right? So what were the most difficult times you had? Did you struggle at all?
At all?
Tell me your struggles.
Only so much and a little bit more.
Okay.
But I feel, I think in all aspects, it wasn't really a very huge culture shock for me, to be honest, because having visited it before and learning from different perspectives, I mean, the world is at your phone now, so it wasn't that huge a culture shock, as it was more about handling your own finances, finding your own family there, and being able to maintain food, figuring out how to do laundry,
food and laundry,
like
big things,
how
right?
to make sure that you
finances.
Plus, यहाँ पे it's not that big a worry कि खाना कब बनाना है, कैसे करना है. वहाँ पे you have to make sure okay, academics is
Did
going
you
well.
did you actually learn how to cook when you
A
went there?
little bit. I mean, I won't say, but her
Were you
class-
the Maggie wala?
Oh, Maggie in the microwave.
You know, that's what I remember. You know, the easiest stuff, and it still
Right,
goes like, you know.
yeah.
So yeah, wonderful, wonderful. So Navya, you know, you did introduce yourself. I did introduce yourself as, you know, the college matchmaker. You know, and I'm sure that has a lot of relevance. That term. You know, what are you doing currently?
You know, I'm basically, I run College Smart and Young Founder Summit. So the reason College Smart came into existence was when I had to go overseas and when my brother had to go overseas, we struggled finding the right information. I know today, knowing my intellect, of course, it's very easy to say, but somewhere if I know that I can feel it, I know I could have, you know, been at a better university than I was if I had the right information, if I had just pulled myself up at the right time.
Yeah, there's a lot of
Yeah.
you know, sometimes there's a lot of wrong advice also, because
Yes.
you know, it's become a bit of a financial kind of a transaction, and I'm sure that you bring more to the table, right?
Yeah.
More than just you know, a financial transaction. You're bringing the insights, you're bringing the know-how. You're actually, that's what, you know, you would be giving them the right set of tools, information, knowledge to, you know, get and make an informed decision for that
Yeah.
matter, right?
You know, I think it's actually not about when we had to choose my university. I know it was a very conscious decision. I was in one side, you know, I got into University of California and I was really excited by the fact, you know, it's close to Disneyland and you know, it couldn't have gotten any
Disneyland,
better.
Orlando.
Nahi, there's the other one in
Acha.
Universal or Disneyland, I forgot, but in California.
Okay.
And I got so excited, you know, okay, this sounds so exciting.
Hmm.
But when I realized ki what Indiana had to offer, you know, being a college town, and I know since I was, you know, scared that meko homesickness hoegi, I made a conscious call ki okay, you know, going to Indiana will make me find my people much more easier.
Indiana इतना Indian नहीं है.
I mean,
Just because उसके नाम में Indian है, थोड़ा वैसे Indian
our
है.
Philippine also used to be Indians at Indiana.
Typical, very nice, very nice. But tell me more about your, you know, venture. Like,
So,
you know,
you know,
what
our
do you
main-
guys exactly do?
Our main focus was, you know, as I was mentioning, ki we had to go outside of our city 5 hours away to get the correct information. Or hope to get the correct information. But really nothing over here, and when we know that, you know, students in Chandigarh have the potential, and even in like a lot of northern area. But यहाँ पे it's more of, you know, immigration work and agent work. So we're trying to demystify it by providing the right information, making them reach not the best university, but the best fit university.
Best fit. Now that is matchmaking there
Yes.
for you. Wonderful, wonderful. Guys, you must check out Navya. If you're ever even thinking of going abroad, your kids, you want to put them in a good college or something, do check Navya out, and we'll put the details in the description. But Navya, along this, you know, short journey which is being created as we speak, you know, what inspiration, what words of advice and inspiration can you give to the youngsters out there, or anybody who's watching?
I think go out there and try things out. I feel the biggest learning happens when you're exposing yourself and trying new things, be it hobbies. You don't really have to develop it, go deep into everything, but unless you really explore, you won't know what you're worth, what you're capable of doing. And I feel that is one thing I missed out on, but I'm still trying to cope up with it by, you know, going for different experiences and trying new things out. So just be present in the moment, make great memories, and have wonderful experiences.
Wonderful. So the golden nugget of Navya is be present. You know, I love that. You know, I think we should make a slogan out of that. You know, something like be present, and we can wear t-shirts out of it. Guys, this was a lovely session with young Navya, and Navya really brought a lot of energy to the show. Thank you so much once again to be on the Winspreneur show. Guys, if you did like what you saw, if you did like what you saw, please do subscribe and you will get good karma for life, and to keep connected. And from us signing off, Professor JV, take care.